Any famous novel is going to have any number of themes that we could talk about, any kind of recurring motifs, kind of general thrusts of where it's going. What we call themes are essentially any kind of ideas that emerge at various points in the text. I've picked just three that we can work with. They all have lots of kind of sub themes and kind of alternative wordings, but these are kind of the three biggest, most kind of recurring themes that kind of come up in people's discussion of the text and also in the exam questions that we've had on this text over the years. So let's start with the most obvious, redemption. So what is the role of redemption in the novel? Well, it obviously applies to Scrooge. And he has what we call a character arc. But the influences on his redemption, they come from every facet of the novel. Okay, everything in the novel works towards his redemption. So if we just change the direction of these arrows and we think the things that lead to his redemption, we have the members of his family around him. We have the Cratchits and their role. We have the ghosts and their role. Everything in the story, all of these characters and all of these ideas, they feed into this context of redemption. Redemption is kind of the centerpiece of the whole novel. And each of them plays their individual roles, and they also link to one another. Okay, so the ghosts get to show him, of course, his past, his present, and his future, and in doing so, provide him with both um, his potential and the stakes of not doing so. The Cratchits also provide him with a kind of a contrast with his own family life, and they also provide him with Tiny Tim, and Tiny Tim essentially is another way that stakes are provided, showing just what is riding on Scrooge's kind of poor behavior. And then, of course, family, we get to see both Fan, his sister, and Fred, his nephew, the child of Fan that he lost. So we get to see kind of the role of family in his redemption, the fact that he has lost poor Fan, but he can still stand a chance with Fred. So we get to see the potential that he still has and the stakes involved in him not having it. Okay, so redemption, all of these characters, all of the themes, even the entire way that the novel is structured, contribute to Scrooge's redemption arc. Okay, now in terms of time, we can link this right here, can't we? Okay, the time is a really important one because we have multiple timelines, don't we? Or multiple time frames, I should say. So if we kind of look at it in a chronological sense, we have Scrooge's childhood, we have his apprenticeship, which would have been when he is a kind of young adult. We have his young adulthood, okay, as we have that kind of scene with Belle. We have present Scrooge, and we have two timelines here. We have two alternative futures. So you can see that all of these things contribute to our understanding of kind of the thrust of this novel. His childhood show his potential to be a decent human being. Again, feeding into this idea of redemption. His apprenticeship shows his, well, obviously because of Fezziwig, shows a kind of foil to Scrooge as a professional. His young adulthood shows his priorities shifting And this is kind of the sort of the turning point for him, where he favors money over his relationship. Um, Now, this is the fresh turning point in the present day. That's where he can actually do something again. So this is where it went wrong in the first place, and this is where it could go right in the present day. And these will contribute towards those alternative futures. Is he going to die in disgrace, or is he going to become, a local hero? And then finally, we have Christmas, and it's kind of the spirit, okay? The spirit of Christmas, and there's not a pun on the ghosts. The spirit of Christmas, again, it's about family, and it is about giving. Those are the kind of the two features of Christmas. But we get to see that those features are universal, okay? And therefore, Scrooge is the exception rather than just an alternative way. Scrooge is literally the odd one out. We see all of these families, all of these different setups of people indulging in the Christmas spirit. They're eating well, they are giving to each other, they are showing goodwill and kindness. Everyone is getting along, which means that Scrooge is the odd one out. We don't see any other characters like him. We don't even see that behavior from Marley. So Marley just has regrets from being like that. Um, so the spirit of Christmas, it represents family and giving, how those things are universal, therefore that Scrooge is the odd one out, which contributes, of course, to his ability to see all of these various time frames, because they're all ghosts of Christmas present, Christmas past, Christmas yet to come. Okay, so they're all visions of Christmas as opportunities that could be taken advantage of or wasted for him to change his ways, which of course all factors into his redemption arc. Okay, so you can see that each of these themes feeds into one another. There is no way of discussing one theme on its own. So if you have a clear understanding of these three themes and any other themes that you can study, you can connect them together, and any question that comes up, you can feed some of these ideas in from the other themes, because they are all so closely linked. And it's one of the advantages to having to taking advantage of theme questions, is going, well, even if I know a little bit less about this theme, it is very much tied into this theme, and so I can kind of manipulate it into fitting. Okay, so there we have 3 key themes of A Christmas Carol in about 8 minutes. Enjoy.